So, how do we keep our lands? Suppose if you own a agricultural land, or any one of your relatives owns a agricultural land, how do you keep it? Do you make it a desert by treating it in a way that is not meant to be done? You are handling that land so in such an unconscious way, wherein you don't give a crap as to it's becoming, and obviously, if even you are not doing so, any one of your relative is doing so, there's no local authority or there's no law for it that would obstruct or confiscate uh, you to do so. There's no law or no policy that would actually uh, be hindering or would be actually avoiding you to do so. So, suppose this house that you see, if I try to extend the boundaries which are not my in the legal way, so there are local authorities, there's law, there are government agencies who will come and break it down, and they will take actions if I am trying to increase and extend my boundaries and try to gain access to a land it's not mine legally. So they are there, they are quite vigilant in that particular area. But when it comes to an agricultural land, if you own agricultural land, or if I own, or if any one of your relatives own, how do we treat it? We just keep plowing it until it's becoming desert, or we not putting the enough organic content to it through vegetations, through grasses, through cover crops, be it through animal waste. It's becoming desert. So the way we are treating it, the way the planet will treat us back. So there has to be a policy, there has to be a proper action that is supposed to be taken on all grounds, on the lands, agricultural lands particularly, who have been treated in a way that they are just a piece of inert material. All we just need is we need to get crops out of it. There's no responsibility, no onus we own to put the content which it requires immensely. Fertilizers will not do the job completely because they are just the way capsules and medicines are to our body. It needs the organic content like our body needs food, just a reflection. We both are the same thing. It's just if you and I look at it at that depth, like the way we need food, they need the organic content. The agricultural land or any land, any soil needs organic content. If that soil in that agricultural land is not given that nutrients through the organic content, the same way if we don't get food, we only get pills. The same way our body will perish after some time, slowly and steadily it will perish from internally. It would. The same with the soil on that agricultural land, so be it any land, if you own it and if you have not used it in a way consciously, that you grow cover crops, some vegetation, that it's not left under the sun and that heat just plowed it completely, it would be depleting it to an extent we cannot recover it in any which ways. So the way authorities act on our houses, if we try to captivate any sort of land that is not ours by extending our house premises, the same way there has to be some actions which is supposed to be taken on the soil, on the lands, on the agricultural lands, the way it's been kept by individual human beings, how they keep it, how they treat it, are they putting enough organic content back to it? At least minimum 3 to 6%, it should be there. If it is not, they are making it a desert and nobody's caring about it. And only we will start caring about it once it hits our plates and we don't get food, we don't get water, no organic content over there. The rains will pour down, it's not soaking it. It needs the biodiversity in the land, on the lands in the soil. Otherwise, it's just sand, and sand won't soak your water. It won't be going inside the planet, and we won't get it eventually. And that would be our end. So we can choose this disaster, or we can start to become more conscious as to how we treat the lands that we own, which are left open under the sun without any vegetation, without any cover crops. We have to make sure that we make and raise awareness about this, that if you own a piece of land or any one of your relatives owns it, there has to be some sort of vegetation on it. And obviously government should bring out some policies on it, as to if some farmer, or if you have a agricultural land and you want to grow only crops, but if you try to also keep some vegetation on the land, there has to be some incentives for you, because nobody would do it out of, for the sake of soil as of now, because we have not felt a disaster as it's taking place in this very moment. So nobody would care about the disaster. We only care about the remuneration we get out of it, what we get in monetary terms. So government has to get some policies as to how you can gain in a way, if you add vegetation and cover crops to your land, and add in that way you add the organic content to it. So it's very required. You see this vegetable seller selling vegetable right next to me. He's only able to sell it because the land is currently fertile. The land is just sand. The agricultural land is just sand. You won't be seeing these vegetable sellers that is right next to me selling these vegetables that I'm gonna eat probably, that mom has purchased in the morning. So I'm getting it on my plate. It's very easy. It looks very easy and very simple to us. Food and water, very easy things, but they are basic requirements, the basic need. When we are devoid of it, we understand what actually agony is. At this moment, we have our own different desires and aspirations, but when the basic necessities are wiped out, then we understand that the survival that we have not considered enough, that our very being, it's been gated by food and water. We don't pay much attention to it, that it's getting extinct as the soil is getting extinct and becoming sand. We won't understand how serious it is. It is serious. So make sure that anyone of your relative, friend who owns agricultural land, make sure that they know about it, that some sort of vegetation is required in the agricultural land, or else it perishes and becomes sand, and thereby there's nothing that would be left for us to relish about or to cherish about. It would be just desert. You've seen Mars, right? Don't become Mars. Let Earth stay Earth the way it is, and be Earth buddy, not Earth enemy. When we save our soil, we save our souls. Only when we save our souls, or our souls, they also perish. So let's make it happen, and let's save soil, and save our souls.